Now, we all probably know somebody who claims to have a slow metabolism, and in many ways that might be true. But today I'm here to educate you a little bit about metabolism, about something called adaptive thermogenesis and our NEAT levels. Now, to begin the discussion, let's talk about what makes up your metabolic rate. Your metabolic rate can typically be broken down into three different parts. The first part being our resting metabolic rate, or our RMR, and it makes up the large majority of what we're burning on a daily basis through metabolism. It's going to be everything from just breathing, my organ function, a whole host of things. It's going to make up around 60 to 75% of our daily energy expenditure. Now, second to that, we've got our thermic effective feeding, which basically refers to the metabolic expenditure during things like digestion and eating our food. And then finally, the one that we can influence the most and the one that's highly adaptive is our thermic effective activity, or TEA, which is going to make up anywhere from 15 to 30% of a daily expenditure. Now, your TEA is broken down into two further parts. The first being our NEAT levels, or our non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which we're going to talk about today, and our planned exercise, which is our training sessions. We're not going to talk about that. We know that burns calories. How does NEAT affect fat loss? So there's this thing called adaptive thermogenesis, which basically means the way your metabolic rate adapts based on things like activity and the amount of food coming in. Where it hurts us on a fat loss diet is as you reduce the amount of food you're bringing in, your metabolism will adjust, and it'll adjust through a whole host of things. You're eating less food, so you'll burn less calories through your thermic effective feeding. But on top of that, there's things at play that will slow down our NEAT levels. I'll move a little bit less. You'll even blink a little bit slower. All of these things contribute to the adaptation of your metabolism or the slowing down of your metabolism as you diet. Now, this can happen in a couple of ways. If you eat less food, this adaptive process takes place and it will reduce your metabolism. If you exercise more, you up your cardio sessions, you will still reduce. This adaptive thermogenesis will take place. It's quite amazing when we think about it, because even if you try, things will slow down. Your organ function will become a little bit more efficient, and as I said, you'll eat less calories through food, so even digestion will take a hit here. Now, what can we do about this? I've just told you that you really have no way to work through it. Well, in many ways you do. One of the best things you can do is track and monitor your daily steps. Now, I need to be really clear from the start. Steps do not equal NEAT. So much more of it takes place. There's so much more to NEAT, but it is a contributing factor. So you can either track, i.e. come up with a target on a daily basis and try to hit that target through your daily steps, or simply monitor. Perhaps you're getting enough steps, and as your diet progresses, you just want to see, am I inherently moving a little bit less? Because if steps are going down, you can probably be certain that other aspects of adaptation are taking place as well. So you can either track or monitor. Generally speaking, we like the track method, where you're going to have a target to try and hit. So what would that target be? For most people, around 10 to 15,000 steps per day is a great place to start. And if you're hearing that and thinking, there is no way I can hit that number, there is a way around it. It does require work, but it can be done. Let's say you're an office worker and you're sitting on your butt and you might get 5 to 6,000 steps in a day. You know, that's really leaving you a little bit short change on that 10,000 step total. What you can do instead is you have a weekly target, let's say 70,000 steps per week. And you might only get between 5 and 10,000 on a daily basis as you work Monday through Friday. But once that weekend hits, your goal is to hit 70,000. So you just make up the difference on the weekend. This might be an outdoor hike, a long walk, anything. But that is one great way. Don't look at it as just a daily thing. And although that is a great method as well, having a weekly target is a way around that. Just remember that, as I said, steps do not equal NEAT. So it's only one part of the equation. To wrap this up today, I'll give you a couple of recommendations for products. Full disclosure, I'm not affiliated with anyone here. Obviously, what we're going to talk about though is the products you may choose to use. Things like Apple Watches are great. That's a personal favorite of mine because it tracks a whole host of things, steps being one of them. I know Garmin makes a few great step trackers and watches as well. You've got things like Fitbits or basic pedometers. All of these things work well. But if that doesn't work for you, you can even just use your Apple iPhone. iPhones have a function where if you stick that thing in your pocket, you use that throughout the day, it will also track your activity. So don't feel like you have to wear a watch or a pedometer. If you carry your phone with you, that's one way to work around it. So to bring it full circle, guys, remember, track your NEAT. 10 to 15,000 steps per day is a great place to start. And in doing so, you can reduce some of those adaptive thermogenic processes that take place as you diet down.